So, thank you for meeting with me. I am a graduate social worker student at Westfield State University, and this conversation is part of a class project about health and aging. The purpose is to learn from your life experiences, what life has been like to you, what's meaningful, and what you think communities can do better to support people as they age. You can share as much or as little as you want. You can stop the interview at any time if something feels uncomfortable. I'll be asking you about your life, your experiences, your health and community, and how things have changed over time. Everything you share will stay confidential unless you give me permission to include identifying details. Sometimes remembering parts of your life can bring up emotions. That is normal. If you need a break or want to stop, that is okay. Would you like me to keep your name private or is it okay to use your first name?
No, it's for fun.
Okay, I'll use your uh you
Yellow.
Diller? Okay. Do I have permission to take notes or record audio for or video to make sure I remember these things correctly?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with your early years. What was life like for you as a child?
A good life. You know, I was born and raised in Angola, in Africa. We had a good life till the war broke down and things changed,
Mm-hmm.
So nothing good came out of there, though.
What happened?
Uh, well, when the war broke down, uh, we had to leave our country, went to Portugal, treated really bad. And thank God that we had an aunt here in America that sent my father the papers, and that was the best country we could find after my country.
Wow.
But we did see things that I don't want to see, or things that you went through that you don't want to go through. So
Wow. Um, and how have you dealt with those things that you
for
saw?
years and years, it was really bad to accept and to in your mind, bad dreams and that.
Hmm.
But I guess I learned to live with it.
You learn to live with it? Does it still occurs
Oh
today?
yes. Especially when you watch the news about the war here and there. First thing comes to your mind is your country. So,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Wow. Um, that's pretty profound. Um, what was your family like? Going back to your family memories.
oh my gosh, we were and we're still a very close family. And I have four sisters and a brother, and but we came to a very close family, and it was really hard. Losing my grandmother was the very first person in our family that we lost as kid. Remember her since we were
Mm-hmm.
little kids. Then a few years later was my dad. That was the hardest thing too. And but thank God we still have our mom, and she has all of her kids together.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, years later, end up losing my husband. So that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I can't get through yet.
I understand. And what kind of community did you grew up in?
Like what? Like
Um, were you connected?
everybody was very friendly. The neighborhood it was like the neighbors were like a family.
Mm-hmm. So there was a strong social connection.
Yes, very strong.
Who or what were the most important influences when you were young?
My dad.
Your father?
My mom was very tough. So I think I took my daddy, like, because he was more. But both of them, like I should say, my mother made us always to be very strong on life. Not because you got a car, you're not gonna die. You're gonna survive. You gotta deal with it. You know, and I have to say both of them, because my mom was, even though she was strict, but she was always wanted the best for us and wanted to make us understand that life is not that easy. And you gotta do things to, if you want things you gotta work for. I'll say both of them.
Beautiful. What did you enjoy or value the most back then?
Going to my grandmother's farm, be free, play. We had a good childhood though. Being on a farm was one of the best things you can experience. Couldn't wait to go and see my grandmother. So I think it was the best times of my life. Didn't like school, never did. But it was one of the things that I can say that I really enjoyed it.
The farm, ever thought about going back?
Yeah, we wish, but for what? To see everything destroyed, and so better to stay the way we are, not to see the things that you left or your family left, and go back and see nothing. So we wish. Me and my mom, we talk a lot about that. My mom, especially now that she's 91, she's losing her mind, and she always goes back there. Like, I wish I could go back and just see it. Well, I don't think I want to go back, no. I really don't. Not to see, the things that we left, and not going to be able to find the things we left there. My parents left everything, my grandmother too. The farm was built by my grandfather. I never met him because he died very young. And my grandmother left the house like, she was coming to visit one of us and never went back. Same thing with us. We left the house and never went back. So
it wasn't planned. It was
no planning, no.
That's another loss you had.
None of us ever millionaires thought we were going to leave our country. My parents were born there too, so it was really hard. 50 years later, you can't just forget. You learn how to live with this and that, but we still talk when we get togethers and everything. We always talk about our country, the memories we had, the good times we had, the neighbors that we had. That was amazing. It was something that never gonna come back.
That community.
Yeah.
But have you been able maybe to find something similar here?
Yes, I don't have a lot of friends, but I have good friends. I made really good friends. That's when I met the men of my life. That I'm, yes, this country was, after my country, was one of the best things could have happened to us.
Yes. Well, this next question I think you have talked a little bit about, but how has life changed since those days?
A lot. You were treated like you were worth nothing when we got to Portugal. People spoke the same language as you, but they treated you like garbage. And that made things worse for us. And but then when we came to this country, it was totally different. People were nice, especially the Portuguese people. They were still like, oh, you refugees, But then years later, it seems like they became like, understand more that we weren't that so bad people. And I couldn't ask for a better country but this one. And the people that I met through the years in this country.
Thank you. Were there big events or moments in history that shaped your life?
Like what?
In general, you tell me. Any big events?
Happy events or sad events?
Both?
Well, the happy event was meeting my husband. Sad events was finding my brother-in-law hanging himself. Things that you try to forget about, but sometimes doesn't leave your mind, stays with you. So, but I can't say that I had a really, really bad life. No, I'm happy now. I have my 2 kids and my grandkid. I think life changed a lot, and you just gotta learn how to live with it and thank God for everything that you have.
Yes.
That's the way I look at it. Even when you're sick, you gotta think to yourself, worse people out there worse than me. So why I'm gonna feel sorry for myself, or why I'm gonna say why this happened to me? Because out there, if you think about it, out there you just gotta say, I know that somebody out there is worse than me. So
Yeah, that can be definitely a way to cope. But also you could find other ways, to cope and manage and process um, all of this that seems to hit you up at some points. I don't know how often you think of this. How often do you think of this?
sometimes more than I wanted to.
Daily basis or in a weekly basis?
On a weekly basis.
In a weekly basis.
Especially now that I'm alone. So you just wonder a lot of times why this happened, but then you gotta bring your mind back, like, what else do you want in life. So I thank God for everything I have, even though that I don't have my husband. Maybe needed him more than who knows. Well, that's something that it's gonna take a long time for me to be able to really understand or cope with it.
And this would be a great space, for you to explore things like that. And as we were talking, I think a good alternative would be have consistent spaces like this, therapeutic spaces where you can talk about this and make sense out of it, instead of, maybe, I don't know if you actually think of this in a weekly basis or whenever it happens. If you avoid it, if you avoid thinking about it, or if the thought just lingers, or if you just think about the same thing, or do you think about ways to resume that thought pattern? What do you do with it?
Well, sometimes when I start thinking about like that, I always think about if there wasn't God in my life, I don't know how far I could be today. So I always ask Him to take those thoughts out of my mind, because I can't bring the past back and I can't live in the past. So I try to move on.
Okay. And does that work?
Sometimes it does.
Sometimes it does.
Babysitting the kids is the best thing I ever did in my life, because they make your mind not think,
They keep you busy.
Yes. So it was one of the best things.
And I think that's something that can really help is doing that. Maybe I think you need the space to talk about these things and make sense out of them. But also, you don't need to be dealing with it every single minute of the day. So having a day structure, something to do on every day, if you will. Obviously, not push yourself to the point of exhaustion, but to keep you busy, have something to look forward to. Um, it's something that you can implement to maybe try to ease your mind out of those thoughts. Um, I think there are also perhaps other approaches that maybe you could approach with maybe a therapist, an actual clinical therapist. Maybe some narrative therapy where you're able to write down and um, re restructure what happened, the idea of it, um, the outcome of it. It's something you could explore. There are multiple approaches to try to deal with trauma, which
Yeah,
is
that's
what
what
you're
my
talking
son keeps
about.
telling me. Well, it's very hard. I am a very, very close person. I can't find myself sit down with somebody that I do not know to talk about everything that really happened in my life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. And he keeps telling me the therapy will help you with your anxiety, even with your this, if you're stress. Well, I don't know. And like I told you before, I found one that I felt very comfortable with, but it was for a short time, and she
Mm-hmm.
left. Not even said, she was leaving the business. Well, I don't know what happened to the girl. And after that, it was really hard for me to find somebody that
Mm-hmm.
I could have, trust, or I could have felt comfortable with.
I understand. Um, yeah, finding a therapist can be like a matchmaking experience. You have to sometimes, personalities don't match, or the therapeutic approach is not the best or not compatible with the person, and that's okay. Um, if it's not something you want to approach, that's fine. That's okay. Um, but just an option on the table right there. Um, for you to figure out if that's something you want to do. You have to be ready and willing
Yep.
to. Um, thank you for sharing all of that with me.
You actually are the first person I share a lot of little details about my life. So,
Why is that?
I don't know, because like I told you, well, my best friend knows everything about my life, but not a lot of people knows how hard it is to struggle with things that happened in your past and losing people that you love so much in your life, this and that, and you try so hard to be this strong person that sometimes your mind and your body just gives up, like, you can't be that strong anymore. I don't know if you understand, like,
I understand, or maybe you just need a space to be vulnerable.
so,
Because it's okay to be vulnerable at times. We are humans. You don't have to be a rock or everybody's rock.
but sometimes that's what you put in your mind, and no matter what, you just gotta face things by yourself and deal with everything good or bad that happens in your life by yourself, not counting with anybody for some reason. Well, and now more than ever, I really understand a lot because I'm all by myself. I have family, but I'm all by myself, and that's the hard part, especially at night. Well, something that I learned to live with it. It's hard. I have days really, really hard, but something that I know that I have to do it by myself.
Have you thought of an alternative?
Yeah, one day I wanna sell the house and move next to my daughter and my grandkid, but till my mom is alive, I'm not gonna do anything. I promised my dad, so I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just pack and move. You know what I mean? So
Where will you move at again?
Florida.
To Florida. And where's your mom?
She's here in Indian Ocean.
Oh, okay. She's on her own?
No, she lives with my sister, but I helped her a lot.
Okay.
I actually can say I'm the right hand on her. And she took really hard when I got this job, but I had no choice. And it's hard for her to understand because she's losing a lot, you know, and, so. But that's why after work I go there every day, every night, and the weekends I'm there with her as many hours as I can. It's really hard.
Are you gonna be babysitting the kids through
In the summertime,
the winter? Not the winter, the Christmas break. Is there a Christmas break? Maybe.
I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna go to Florida the 18th, coming back the 27th.
Okay.
Because I usually gone from Thanksgiving till the first of the year. But this year, for some reason, and I thank God for that. For some reason, God knew that I needed this job. I was gonna get a job, and things had to change. And my son is coming for Thanksgiving just for a few days.
Nice.
Arriving Tuesday. So, well, I'm only going for a short time. But when it's break, yeah, I'll stay with them.
I'm sorry. When?
When it's they don't have school.
Oh yeah.
And I stay with them every day now too after work. So.
No, that keeps you busy too.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, now you have a full day, right?
Yeah.
Because you work in the mornings and in the afternoon
Then I
you're
come
with the
home
kids.
around 2:00. Then he brings the little guy. Then 3:20 he brings the two girls. So they keep me busy.
What do you do at night?
Try not to feel sorry for myself.
What is that? What do you do
Like,
to not feel sorry about yourself?
Like, sit down and start thinking about things in life. Or why this happened to me? Or I can't believe I'm by myself. So I do my best not to think like that. I used to, but not anymore. So I try to find a movie that I like. Read a little bit. Don't sleep much though. I don't know why, but I try to do my best to stay focused, not going in the past, just think about today and tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, maybe explore alternatives of things for you to do at night. Although, do you feel tired at night, or you said you're not sleeping much? You're restless.
Well, for years and years, I don't know where sleep is. I suffer a lot from fibro, so that's one of the things, and really bad headaches. But so when I can't sleep, I just watch TV and try to watch something that it's not gonna make me think the worst or whatever. So I always try to find something funny or whatever, It was really hard for years, but I think I'm doing much better on myself right now.
Good. And I don't know, crazy idea, throw it out there. Have you thought about maybe another roommate?
No.
Someone close, a close friend or a relative that keep you company at night?
I got so used to, for almost 5 years, to be by myself that I don't think I could have lived with anybody right now. I'm not gonna say never, because you never know what's gonna happen, but I don't think so. You come home and you know you were alone, so you can do whatever you want. Put your pajamas on and all day long stay with your pajamas or do whatever, And so I don't know. I don't think. I'm never gonna say never because you never know, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, have somebody living with me.
I mean, as an alternative,
Have to be somebody that you can really, really trust. 'Cause in the days that we live, it's very hard to.
No, I wasn't thinking it being like
not yeah.
a Craigslist
Yeah.
ad type of thing. Nothing like that. but maybe someone you really trust for years that maybe is more or less in the same stage of life as you are,
All
that
my
would.
friends are younger than me.
All your friends are younger than you? Okay.
Yeah.
um
Not that younger, but they are younger, and they
mhm.
have their own lives, My
And
best friend
you're
has a
still
daughter,
young.
lives,
You're
lives,
64, right?
yeah, 64.
You're still young, gotta say.
Well, no, it's something that never crossed my mind. I don't think I could have done it either. I don't know. I'm not saying tomorrow, maybe, who knows, but right now, no.
And how
Not
do you.
even a member, a family member.
Hmm?
Not even a family member. No.
And how you thought about ways to fill this evening gap with something more exciting while you find sleep? There could be online groups too. I don't know if something like
I
that calls your
spend
attention.
sometimes talking to my daughter and my little guy. Sometimes with my son, and sometimes if I feel really down, I just call my best friend, and we're on the phone like for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and she stops by a lot. And my husband's cousin that we get along really good. She's another friend of mine, that dear friend. She stops by. So they sometimes they stay here till 10, 11. So,
Okay.
and I have a niece that she's like a daughter to me, that she comes and checks on me all the time. So that's the precious of life, those people for me.
Okay. How long you been working at the school?
I just started this week.
This week? How
So
has that been?
so far not bad. You stand up for 4.5 hours, but the kids, it's funny to watch the kids coming through the lunch, but
I
that's not
bet.
bad.
That must be hilarious.
Especially the little ones, they're so cute. I thought it was gonna be really hard, but it's not. I mean, you gotta learn, as you go, and that. But so far, so good. And the ladies that I work with, the supervisor and the other lady, they seem like very, very good people, and they are there to help you. They
Nice.
always tell. So and so far, I'm very lucky on that.
That's good. That's good. That's my next question. Have you met people there? Nice people?
Yeah, those two are, yeah. Even other the teachers, they come and say hi. You don't leave the place that you work, because they are teaching and that. But so far, I'm happy with it. I couldn't say, oh, I'm not. Hopefully that keeps like that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes things easy.
Um, Going back to my script, to the script. What is life like for you these days?
Like, wow.
It's an open-ended question on purpose.
I think it's good.
It's
I
good.
have two amazing kids in my life. Even though they don't live with me and they're far away, but every time I need something, they're there 100%. I get along with my family, so I think life is good.
Yeah. And how do you take care of yourself for your well-being?
Try as much as I can to take care of myself, going to the doctors, keep myself busy. That's number one,
Mm-hmm.
because it's always good.
Has aging or your health changes affected how you spend time or who you spend time with?
No.
Um, who do you turn to when you need help or comfort?
My best friend.
Your best friend. What strengths do you see in yourself? Strengths. Um, Positive affirmations
I
about yourself.
lately actually I'm doing really good. Always stay in a positive mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm doing good.
Good. Um, are there strengths in your family, friends, or community that help you stay hopeful?
My kids and my niece and my two friends, my best friend and my other friend. Because every time I need something, I just have to call them. And my best friend and my husband's cousin, that she's another best friend. They always come and check on me. Um, my husband's cousin, she's always planning to go here and there on Sundays. She comes and picks me up. We'll go for rides. So
Okay. We have a good natural support there.
yes,
Um, if you could change something in your community to make life easier for people your age, what would that be?
I don't know.
You don't know? I thought it was going to be an easy question. What would you change in this
People
community?
to check on each other more often.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things, because a lot of people live by themselves and neighbors, and they know that, you know. It's one of the things because sometimes, you don't know if they are okay or not, and just be nice to each other, I guess, with all your neighbors.
That's inspiring, I gotta say. Um, are there programs, supports, or changes you think would make a big difference? Any program you think would make a big difference? Or any support? Let's call it a magic wand. If you could have a program in the community that does something specific, what would it be?
For everybody to get along.
For everybody to get along.
It's sad to say, but people now, they just don't get along and, you know, for peace.
And we're getting close to the wrapping with the last couple of questions. We have questions about reflection and wisdom now, and then we have the closing. So we're about to actually just a couple more questions. So when you look back over your life, what moments make you the most proud?
My kids became a mother. That was the most proud and beautiful thing that I wanted in life.
Um, what lessons or advice would you give to younger generations?
To be smart, don't follow other people's steps, Gotta be strong and think that you can do everything you want in life if you put your mind to it, and don't live on a hate that the world is right now. I'm very proud when I hear young generations, like they have a good job, they buy a house, they have a family. Those things are wonderful for young people that you don't see a lot.
Um, when you think about the future, what brings you peace, hope, or gratitude?
I'm grateful for everything I have in my life. And I wish all of us will live in peace. But it's something that's really hard. For people to get along, no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be friends to get along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree. And well, thank you for sharing your story with me. I really appreciate the time and trust you've given me. You've shared a lot of powerful experiences and personal ones, which
Sorry.
no, sorry. I appreciate it. I appreciate your sincerity and your openness during this time. absolutely, definitely. You made it easier um, for me to react with curiosity because you have quite the interesting life. Um, w- would you like me to send you a summary or a copy of what I'm going to write?
Yeah, it's up to you if you want to.
And then before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share? Something I didn't ask about?
Then I was very happy to meet you guys. You guys are very nice neighbors. We actually live in a very nice neighborhood.
Thank you very much. This is a great neighborhood, for sure. Um, and thank you.
Oh.
Let me see. We good.